Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
वॉचो ऐप पे देखो एक OTT के दाम पे सारे OTT शान से.
Well, how happy are the South African batters to get away from the United States and get away from St. Vincent to post 194, the highest score by some distance in this T20 World Cup. In the first Super 8 fixture of the tournament at halftime, that's where the game stands after the US put them in. So, on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket Info Timeout, powered by Dishtv Watcho. We get the thoughts of Andy Flower in a moment, and first Anil Kumble, both of whom had predicted 160, 170 plus, and we have got a big score, largely down to a partnership of 110, Anil, between de Kock and Markram. Is that true to conditions? It's a good batting surface, or have South Africa overachieved here?
No, I think South Africa certainly did achieve what they wanted to set out to. The conditions are good. Initially, I thought there was a little bit of two-pace early on with the new ball, but I think once Quinton de Kock got set, then it was really tough on the US bowlers, because we know how good a player he is. At the end of it, only a full toss could get him out. But we spoke about this, right? I mean, at the start, if South Africa can get off to a good start, the top order get runs, then it becomes really difficult for any bowling attack to stop the South African.
Yeah, all he needed was his former coach to just give him some motivation. Andy Flower was talking about how it's an important time in Quinton de Kock's career post some of his other international retirements to make sure that he keeps that level going. Was that the best of Quinton de Kock for you, Andy? And what do you make of how he batted in the first period of play?
Yeah, that was lovely to see him bat like that. He's a wonderful player to watch, isn't he? He's got such a beautiful flow of the bat, and like most left-handers, they look elegant, and he's definitely one of those. I must say that the American bowlers did not do a great job against him. One of the things you've got to do against Quinton is make him play with a straight bat if you can. And they allowed him cross-bat shots much too often. Jasdeep Singh particularly got him off and running by bowling short at him during that over. I think it went for 28. Jasdeep came back well in his second over, but he just got Quinton and South Africa off and running by banging it in, and he just went over that short boundary too easily.
Yeah, it's a good point to make there, including a free hit that really got de Kock going. It was a favoured side, and I think the wind played its part too. The USA, not as good as they've been in the early parts of the tournament.
It's been tough, isn't it? I mean, for US bowlers, especially against a batting lineup like that, on a good surface, power play, Quinton de Kock in full form, like Andy mentioned, that over certainly gave the impetus to South African batters, and then they scored freely in the power play. And once you sort of get off to that good start, then it's going to be tough with the spinners on against Klaasen, Stubbs, Markram. It was good to see Markram coming back into form too.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about Markram, and you made a very interesting observation pre-game of when he is free-flowing versus when he starts thinking about what gears he needs to go at. And at the back of the wickets that USA got, you sense maybe there's a chance here. And the next 10, 12 balls, did you see that confusion from Markram, even though he was set? That's what led to his wicket?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty difficult to sort of put a finger to it.
Yep.
But, I mean, the best of Markram is always when he's free-flowing. The moment he starts thinking about what he needs to do for his team in terms of how he wants to manage a couple of overs or a couple of spells of a bowler, that's when I think he gets into that mindset of not sure. But today it was good to see Markram score runs, because for South Africa it's very, very important that the top order gets runs, because other than Miller, who got out first ball, their middle order, the lower middle order, is really strong, and they can destroy any bowling attack.
Yeah. That being said though, Andy, it wasn't as easy for Klaasen and Stubbs to get away. Eventually they've got them a partnership of 50 of 30, but Stubbs has pretty much gone a runner ball. Netrawalkar's bowled quite well towards the end too, as we try and understand how Antigua might play in trends and patterns for games like India, Bangladesh and West Indies, South Africa that will also be played here. Just take me through your observations of whether hitting was as easy. Perhaps some player like Markram needs to bat longer when he's got the kind of start that he has?
Well, I mean, he had good output today, Markram, no doubt, and he did play a bit of that anchor role. I think it sort of naturally suits him, even though as Anil said, he's got to keep pushing, he's got to keep aggressive, absolutely. But the USA bowlers did do a really good job initially with Klaasen and Stubbs. They got Miller early, which is a great boost, and then they had two right-handers that they could bowl a little bit of spin at. And I thought the ball held for the spinners just a little, just enough. So I think that'll be interesting to watch the South African spin on that pitch. But they did a good job, and Klaasen and Stubbs themselves countered that well. They didn't get off and running really, those two. They can both be incredibly destructive. Klaasen did his bit, and he's a 360-degree player and showed his class. But to keep Tristan Stubbs faced 16 or 17 balls and he only hit 2 boundaries at the death, that's a great effort by the USA bowlers.
Yeah, let's talk about the 2 standout bowlers. A lot of bowlers have been expensive, but on that day with 194 scored, Netravalkar's 2 for 21 of 4 and Harmeet Singh 2 for 24 of 4. So let's talk about Harmeet first, and he talks about the ball holding as well. India would be watching this. Both left-arm spinners, perhaps more spin, and even South Africa's spinners will play a part.
Yes, even Netravalkar, whenever he came and ran in and bowled, took the pace off. It was not easy for the batters to time the ball, and I thought both the left-armers did really well. Harmeet, in particular, used his pace, varied his length really well. Not much turn, but just that stopping a little bit, that certainly kept the batsman on a check. So India will certainly be looking at how Maharaj and Shamsi go, because these 2 spinners are class. So you will certainly see a lot more assistance when these 2 spinners come on to bowl. Andy,
I'm thrilled you're with us for this game, because I want to ask you about Saurabh Netravalkar. It's a great story. It's a good performance today as well. What do you think his stocks will be like for the franchise T20 circuit after this World Cup?
Well, his stocks have flown through the roof, I think. I must say I really enjoyed working with him in the ILT20. Smart guy and very skillful, and a great man around the team. Very independent and self-managed. So without a doubt, people will be looking at this and thinking, here's a left-arm swing bowler that can also bowl at the death for us. So his stocks have gone up.
If he has an Indian passport still, would he qualify as an Indian player for RCB? Andy, just checking. Not one of your 8 overseas?
USA player, overseas player, mate. You never know with these skills. Get him up against some of those Indian right-handers in the IPL.
Right. We will not trouble Andy anymore. He's got that for a later day in this year. Let's quickly look ahead to the chase, though. Any chance that this is still something that's gettable? Is the surface shown that you still can chase or get close to 180, 190?
Oh, you can. I mean, the surface is, there are no demons in the surface. Yes, it's stopping a little bit, but 194, it's a good score. It's not like, it's a score that is beyond USA.
Sure.
If you bat really well, and if you get those boundaries in the first 6 overs, because the 6 overs, you'll have to utilize the power play. If USA can do that without losing too many wickets, then they are in the game, because we have seen they chased down 190 plus, I think it was, against Canada.
Yes.
So they have done that in the past. So yes, Canada bowling attack will certainly be different than the South African class attack, but still, you never know. You can never say that South Africa has won this game, but they are certainly in for a chase, because this is a good surface.
Yeah, you still back South Africa though?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I certainly back South Africa to get this.
Andy, final thoughts from you as well. First ball's gone for 4, so there's only one way to try and get these. Decisive period of play for you in the chase will be?
Well, without a doubt, they need a great start. They need to attack this power play, get hold of Jansen if they can, because they know that Nortje, Rabada and those 2 spinners are class. So they've got to attack Jansen right now, and put him under as much pressure as possible. It's a huge chase out there, I think, and they're going to have to play well outside what their normal capability is, I think, to win the game.
Okay, we back South Africa then with a significant score. Many thanks to Andy Flower and Anil Kumble. We will get post-match comments from them on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by Dishtv. Watcher, do download the mobile app if you haven't already. The fastest scores and so much more in what is a significant first game in this group. South Africa win big. It helps their net run rate too, and that could very well come into play at this tight group too with the West Indies and England as well. Or can the USA just add to their fairy tale story? We'll see you at the end of the game.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
वॉचो ऐप पे देखो एक OTT के दाम पे सारे OTT शान से।
Watch